October 26, 1996, Saturday evening, 7:33 p.m. Brooklyn. Biggie's apartment on St. James Place. Not the house he bought for his mother. Not a mansion in New Jersey. The apartment, the same building where he grew up. 3rd floor. 3 bedrooms. Modest. Comfortable. The place he still comes to when he wants to feel normal. When he needs to remember where he came from. When the pressure of being the Notorious B.I.G. gets too heavy, and he just needs to be Christopher for a few hours. The living room is small. Couch against one wall. Television on a stand. Coffee table covered in magazines and ashtrays. Speakers in the corners. Big speakers. Expensive speakers. The kind that make the walls shake when you turn them up. Because if there's one thing Biggie invests in, it's sound. Everything else can be basic, but the sound has to be perfect. Jay-Z sits on the couch, 26 years old, hungry, talented, respected in the underground, but not famous yet, not mainstream, not where he wants to be, not where he's going to be, but getting there, building, grinding. Reasonable Doubt dropped 3 months ago. Strong reviews, solid sales. Critics calling him the next big thing, but critics call a lot of people the next big thing. Most of them disappear. Jay's not planning to disappear. Biggie's in the kitchen, getting drinks, water for himself, Heineken for Jay, ice in glasses, the small domestic rituals of having a guest, of being a host. He brings the drinks back, hands Jay the beer, sits in the armchair across from the couch. The chair is worn, comfortable, the chair where Biggie sits when he's thinking, when he's writing, when he's figuring things out. "You heard any of the new album?" Biggie asks it casually, conversational, like he's asking about the weather. "Nah, just what's out there, the rumors. People saying it's a double album. That's crazy." Jay takes a sip of beer, curious. Everyone in hip-hop is curious about Biggie's second album. Ready to Die changed everything, set a standard, created expectations that feel impossible to meet. But if anyone can meet them, it's Biggie. It's done. Well, almost done. Still mixing, still tweaking. But the songs are there. 24 tracks. Disc 1 is Life. Disc 2 is After. Biggie says it matter-of-factly, like it's a simple concept, like everyone makes double albums about mortality. Life after death. Jay says it like he's testing the words, seeing how they sound. "That's the title? That's the title." Biggie stands up, walks to the stereo, starts pulling out DAT tapes, unlabeled, just numbers written in marker. He selects one, loads it. "You want to hear it? The real shit, not the singles, the deep cuts. Hell yeah." Jay sits forward, eager. This is rare. This is access. This is Biggie about to play unreleased music from the most anticipated album in hip-hop. You don't say no to that. You don't play it cool. You lean in. You listen. Biggie presses play. The room fills with sound. A track Jay's never heard. Dark, layered. Biggie's voice cutting through the production like a knife. The flow is different than Ready to Die. More confident, more complex, more refined. This isn't the hungry kid from Brooklyn anymore. This is a master at the peak of his powers. This is someone who knows exactly what they're doing and exactly how good they are at doing it. Jay doesn't move, doesn't speak, just listens. His face doing things he's not aware of. Eyebrows raising, head nodding, mouth opening slightly. The involuntary reactions of someone hearing something that's better than they expected, better than they thought was possible. The track ends. Biggie doesn't say anything, just loads another tape, another track, this one harder, more aggressive. Biggie challenging someone, calling someone out, the kind of track that starts wars, the kind of track that makes everyone pick sides. Jay knows immediately this is going to be huge. This is going to change things. 3 tracks in, Jay speaks. "Yo, Big, this is..." He trails off. Can't find the words. Tries again. "This is different. This is next level. You think so?" Biggie asks it like he genuinely doesn't know, like he needs confirmation. But that's not it. Biggie knows the album is good, knows it's great. The question is something else. The question is whether Jay hears what Biggie hears, whether Jay understands what this album is, what it means. "I know so. This is the album, the one everybody's going to be trying to match for the next 5 years. Jay leans back on the couch, processing, thinking about his own music, thinking about where he fits, thinking about how to follow something like this, how to compete with this, because that's what you do when you're ambitious. When you hear greatness, you don't just admire it, you figure out how to reach it, how to exceed it. Biggie plays 2 more tracks, then stops, ejects the tape, doesn't load another one, just sits back down in his chair, looks at Jay, really looks at him. The kind of look that means something's coming, something important. "Jay, I want to tell you something. Biggie's voice is different now. Not casual, not conversational, serious, heavy. The voice he uses when he's about to say something true, something that matters. What's up? Jay sits forward again, senses the shift, the change in energy. You're next. Biggie says it simply, directly, like it's a fact, like it's already decided. Jay laughs, nervous laugh. Next for what? Next to put out a double album? Because I don't know about all that, Big. I'm still trying to get people to buy one album. Nah. Biggie doesn't laugh, doesn't smile, just keeps looking at Jay with that same serious expression. You're next to carry it. When I'm gone, you're the one. The room gets quieter, not silent. The refrigerator hums in the kitchen. A car passes outside. Somebody's music playing from another apartment. But the space between Biggie and Jay becomes a vacuum, becomes a space where words land differently, where meaning weights the air. Big! What are you talking about? You ain't going nowhere. Jay's still trying to keep it light, still trying to laugh it off, but his laugh sounds wrong, sounds forced. You got the album coming out. You got your whole career ahead of you. You're 24 years old. You ain't going nowhere. I'm 24. I'll be dead before I'm 25. Biggie says it the same way he said everything else, calmly, matter-of-factly, like he's commenting on the weather, like he's stating an obvious truth that everyone already knows. Jay stops laughing. Yo, Big! That's not funny. Don't talk like that. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being real. I'm telling you what I know, what I feel. I'm not making it to 25. And when I'm gone, somebody has to carry it. Somebody has to be the one. And that's you. You're next. Jay doesn't know what to say. Doesn't know how to respond. This isn't how this conversation is supposed to go. They're supposed to be listening to music, talking about beats, about flows, about the industry, not about death, not about succession, not about Biggie being gone. Big, I don't. Jay starts, but doesn't know how to finish. Doesn't know what he's trying to say. Listen to me. Biggie leans forward in his chair, elbows on his knees, hands clasped, the posture of someone about to say something important and needs you to understand. I've been watching you, been paying attention. You got something most people don't have. You got the hunger, but you also got the skill, and you got the mind. You think about this shit. You study it. You don't just rap. You build. That's rare. Most people just want to be famous, want to have hits, want to get paid. You want to be great. You want to matter. I see that. I know that. And that's why I'm telling you. You're next. Jay's throat is tight. Can't quite swallow. Can't quite breathe right. Because Biggie's not joking. This isn't a setup. This isn't performance. This is the Notorious B.I.G. The biggest rapper alive, looking at him and saying you're next like it's prophecy, like it's instruction, like it's a torch being passed. What do you want me to do? Jay asks it quietly, not sure what he's asking, not sure what the question even means. I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember what I said, and when I'm gone, I want you to be ready. I want you to step up. I want you to take this shit seriously. Because it matters. Hip-hop matters. What we're building matters. And somebody has to carry it forward. Somebody has to be the one who doesn't let it die. Who doesn't let it become a joke. Who keeps it real. Who keeps it art. And that's you. Big. You're talking like you're dying tomorrow. You got time. You got years. You got a whole career. Jay's pleading now, trying to convince Biggie of something Biggie clearly doesn't believe. I don't feel like I got time. Biggie sits back, runs his hand over his face. Tired. Not physically, spiritually. The tiredness of carrying weight that's too heavy. I feel like time's running out, like there's sand in an hourglass, and I can see it draining, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. You ever feel like that? Jay thinks about it, honest. Sometimes, when I think about how long it took to get here, how much longer it might take to get where I want to be. Yeah, I feel like time's running out. It's different for me. Biggie's voice is quieter now, almost a whisper. I feel like I'm not going to get where I want to be. Like I'm going to run out of time before I get there. This album, Life After Death, it's called that because I know I'm not going to see what comes after it. I'm not going to see how people react, how it changes things, how it affects the culture. I'll be gone, and that's okay. I've made peace with it, but I need to know that somebody's going to carry it forward. And that's you. Jay doesn't know what to say. Sits there on the couch holding a beer he's not drinking, looking at Biggie who's looking back at him with absolute certainty, with complete conviction, with the kind of faith that's unshakable and terrifying. I'm serious, Jay. You're next. Remember I said it. When it happens, when I'm gone, remember this conversation. Remember that I told you. And step up. Be the one. Because hip-hop needs you to be the one. I need you to be the one. Big. Jay's voice cracked slightly. Stop talking like you're dying. I'm not dying. I'm already dead. I've been dead since Ready to Die. That album killed me. Made me into something else. Something that's not quite alive. Not quite human. Just a symbol. Just an image. And symbols don't live long. They burn bright. And then they're gone. And I'm going to be gone soon. I feel it. I know it. And I'm okay with it. But I need you to promise me something. What? Promise me you'll remember this. Promise me you won't forget. Promise me when the time comes, you'll step up. You'll be ready. You'll be the one. Jay looks at Biggie, at his face, at his eyes, trying to see if this is real, if Biggie really believes this. And he sees it, sees the certainty, sees the resignation, sees the acceptance of something Jay can't understand, can't process, can't accept. I promise. Jay says it because what else can he say? How do you tell someone no when they're asking you to carry their legacy? How do you refuse that? I promise, Big. Biggie nods, satisfied, relieved, like he's been carrying something heavy and finally got to put it down. Good. That's all I needed to hear. They sit in silence for a moment, the weight of the conversation settling, the impossibility of what was just said hanging in the air like smoke. Then Biggie stands up, walks back to the stereo. You want to hear more of the album? Yeah. Jay's grateful for the shift, grateful to move away from death and prophecy and succession. Grateful to just listen to music. Yeah, let's hear more. Biggie plays 3 more tracks. Brilliant tracks. Perfect tracks. Tracks that are going to change hip-hop. Tracks that are going to cement Biggie as one of the greatest ever. They don't talk about the conversation. Don't reference it. Just listen to music. Drink beer. Exist in the moment. 2 rappers in an apartment in Brooklyn appreciating greatness. At 9:15, Jay stands up to leave. Thanks for letting me hear that, Big. That album is going to change everything. I know. Biggie walks Jay to the door. You going to be at the release party? March? If I'm invited? You're invited. I want you there. Want you to see it. Want you to be part of it. Biggie opens the door. They do the handshake, the hug, the standard goodbye of 2 people who respect each other. Jay stops in the doorway, turns back. Big, about what you said, about me being next. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can be what you think I can be. Biggie looks at him, serious again. You can. You will. I know it. You just don't know it yet. But you will. Trust me. Jay nods. Doesn't know what else to say. Walks down the stairs, out of the building, into the Brooklyn night. Gets in his car. Drives home. The conversation playing in his head on repeat. You're next. When I'm gone, you're the one. He tries to shake it off. Tries to convince himself Biggie's just being dramatic. Just being deep. Just talking. But the words stick. The certainty sticks. The prophecy sticks. March 25th. 1997. Life After Death is released. Jay-Z gets the call on March 9th. Biggie's dead. Shot in Los Angeles. 24 years old. Jay sits in his apartment, alone, remembering October 26th, remembering the conversation, remembering you're next. When I'm gone. It's been 5 months, not even half a year, and Biggie's gone, and Jay's here, and the prophecy is real. Jay goes to the funeral, sees Valletta, sees Faith, sees Junior MFI, sees Puffy, sees everyone grieving, everyone lost, everyone trying to process the impossible, and he remembers the promise. Promise me you'll step up, be ready, be the one. The months after Biggie's death, Jay works differently, raps differently, thinks differently, not trying to copy Biggie, not trying to replace him, but carrying something, carrying the torch, carrying the responsibility, being the one. 1998, Volume 2 Hard Knock Life, massive success. Jay-Z becomes a superstar, not just respected underground, mainstream, commercial, the biggest rapper alive, the one carrying hip-hop forward. 1999, Volume 3, 2000, The Dynasty, 2001, The Blueprint, album after album, year after year. Jay-Z becomes what Biggie said he would become, the one, the king, the heir to the throne Biggie left empty. 20 years pass. Jay-Z is interviewed for a documentary. They ask him about Biggie, about their relationship, about what Biggie meant to him, and Jay tells the story about October 26th, 1996, about sitting in Biggie's apartment, about hearing Life After Death before the world heard it, about the conversation. He told me I was next. Told me when he was gone, I'd be the one to carry it. And I laughed, because Big was 24. He was supposed to have decades. He was supposed to have a whole career. But he looked at me and said I'm not making it to 25. And 5 months later, he was dead. And I remembered the conversation. I remembered the promise. And I stepped up. Not because I wanted to. Because I had to. Because Big told me to. Because he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself yet. And he was right. He was right about all of it. The interviewer asks if Jay thinks Biggie really knew. Really saw his own death coming. Jay thinks for a long moment. Then answers, I don't know if he knew or if he felt it, or if it was just a feeling he couldn't shake, but he was certain, absolutely certain. And when someone's that certain about their own death, and they look you in the eye and tell you you're next, you remember that. You carry that. For the rest of your life, you carry that. 27 years after the conversation, Jay-Z is one of the greatest rappers of all time. A billionaire, a mogul, an icon. Everything Biggie said he would be. Everything Biggie saw when Jay couldn't see it himself. The prophecy fulfilled. The torch carried. The promise kept. In interviews, Jay still talks about that night, October 26th, 1996, the night Biggie played him life after death. The night Biggie told him, you're next. The night that changed everything. The night that gave Jay permission to be great. The night that made him promise to be the one. And somewhere, if Biggie can see it, he knows he was right. Knows he chose correctly. Knows that the thing he needed to pass on got passed. That the torch he couldn't carry anymore found the right hands. That hip-hop didn't die with him, because Jay-Z stepped up. Jay-Z became the one, just like Biggie knew he would. That's the story of the torch passing, the story of prophecy, the story of October 26th, 1996, the story of You're Next, the story of a king recognizing another king before the crown was visible, the story of faith, of certainty, of knowing someone's potential before they know it themselves, the story of how the Notorious B.I.G. chose Jay-Z to carry hip-hop forward, and how Jay-Z promised, and how that promise got kept.